Hello, my name is Dr. Webb, and I want to welcome each of you to the Spring 2018 Global Leadership course here at St. Bonaventure. I'm excited to get into this work with you and begin digging into the field of global leadership. One of the things that's very interesting is leadership as a field in academia has been around for a little while now. Global leadership itself, a more specific track, is a much newer idea and field of study, and we're going to be digging into global leadership in the next couple months. One of the challenges is sort of stick with global leadership rather than just leadership in general, although very many similarities. But we'll be talking through that as we get into the class. Just a bit of background on me in terms of who I am. I have an undergraduate degree in communications from a small school in Minnesota. I then went on and got my master's degree in higher ed administration from Alfred University. And then more recently, actually almost 10 years ago now, my PhD in organizational leadership from Regent University in Virginia. I've taught this class now for this, I think, is my fifth time teaching this class. So I'm more and more familiar with it. I have been working in higher ed for 25 years now. For the first 12 years, I was in student life. I was a resident director for a couple of years, and then student programs, working with student leaders on campus and orientation, introduction to new students, etc. And then for the last 13 years, I've been working full time in the athletic department. I'm the head men's soccer coach and also an associate athletic director here at the institution where I work full time. I am married, happily married for 25 years. I have 5 children. I have twin 23-year-old daughters. I have a 21-year-old son. And then I have twin 16-year-old boys. Just got their learner's permit just a couple weeks ago. So they're on the road terrorizing Western New York. I love to read. A lot of historical novels. I wouldn't call myself necessarily a Civil War buff, but I do like reading about the Civil War. I've actually just begun working through the 3-volume narrative by Shelby Foote. If you haven't seen the volume or read that, you may be familiar with the video series on PBS, The Civil War, but it's quite a lengthy 3-volume set that I'm working through right now. I love to travel. I lived in Iran when I was a young boy. Lived in South Africa for a year. I've been to Peru, Costa Rica, a number of different countries in Europe, Japan. Many of those trips were soccer related, with a soccer team that I was with, either playing or coaching. Some family travel as well. But that's a little bit of who I am, and you'll see a little bit more of that in my introductory post here in this first week. Couple course logistics, some things to be aware of and pay attention to as we start navigating through the course here. Make sure you look through the syllabus. Many of the questions that you may have can probably be answered in the syllabus. There's also a rubric on Moodle that sort of describes how I will grade the discussion posts, but make sure you're familiar with what's in the syllabus in terms of the expectations for the class, the assignments, etc. Regarding the discussion forums that we have each week. Every week we have 2 discussion forums, except for week 4 and 7, where you have an additional paper, so we only have 1 discussion forum that week. But in those forums, my expectations are as follows. You're responsible for an initial post to the question that's posed in the forum. Those initial post responses from you are due by Wednesday night each week, and then you're required to respond to 2 other posts, 2 secondary responses, I call those, to others' posts in that discussion forum. So a minimum of 3, not limited to 3, you're welcome to do more, but a minimum of 3. I'm looking for support and referenced support in your discussion posts for each of the forums. Obviously, you can make use of the materials from that week, text or the texts that we're considering. I've also included in each week additional resources available to you. Some links to articles or YouTube videos related to the topic that week. So feel free to use those, and obviously additional resources that you may go out and find as well. But I'm looking for support to your claim in your postings with what you think, your feedback, your response to the questions. I'm also very concerned with how you present yourself in the discussion forums. You'll notice that there is a word count maximum limit that I've placed for each of the discussions, and it gets a little bit smaller later in the course. I'm looking for concise writing. It's very easy to elaborate and go on and on and on. You have an opinion about a particular topic. You feel strongly about something. You have a lot of ideas. That's all well and good, but at graduate level writing, we need to learn to be concise and to the point and accurate with what we're trying to say, rather than just going on and on for writing's sake. So I stick to the word count pretty carefully. If you're one word over, I'm not going to dock you for that. But if it's a 250 word count and you submit something that's 400 words, I probably won't read it. I'm looking for you to stick to the guidelines that I've given for those particular discussion forums. So make sure that you follow those guidelines. At any point in the course, you feel you want to contact me, I'm more than happy to respond. My email is mweb@sbu.edu, and my intent would be to respond within 24 hours to any email question that you might have. The two written assignments for the longer assignments, week 4 and week 7. I'm more than happy to give you feedback, give you ideas in terms of how you want to go with those papers. The assignment itself is in the course, and you can see what the assignment is. But if you're not sure the direction that you're taking with that, or if you have another little idea that you'd like to explore, and you just want to make sure that's okay, feel free to let me know, and I'm more than happy to sort of talk through that with you and give you feedback on that, whether that's relevant or not, acceptable or not. Just feel free to let me know. One of the challenges, and I sort of alluded to this earlier in the course, in our discussions, is to stay focused on the global leadership principles. You'll notice as we get into the course that we'll be talking a lot about global leadership traits and principles, related, similar to leadership in general, and there's obviously some overlap, but we're looking to stay focused on the global leadership component. The other thing that gets a bit challenging is that so much of global leadership is influenced by culture. And it's also easy to get off a track of just talking about culture and cultural dynamics and forget that we're talking about leadership and global leadership. So just being challenged or being reminded we want to try and stay on track in our discussion and not get off on those tangents, which are easy to get off into, and definitely related, but we want to try and stay on track. The textbooks for this course are excellent, and they lead and guide the discussion to a large degree. So make sure that you're making use of those and referencing those in your discussion posts as well. Again, I'm looking forward to getting into the material with you. I see that a few of you, this is Tuesday afternoon, I see that a few of you have already posted your introductory PowerPoints telling us a little bit who you are. I actually just posted mine. So I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you a bit better. And as we dig into leadership and global leadership in particular, I look forward to our dialogues and what we learn together in this course. Thank you.